Okay, welcome everyone, and we have a special interview and podcast today where we have my friend and former patient, Josh here. He's going to be able to go over his story of how he, started out on opioids, some of the struggles that he went through and how he got off of opioids, and now is pretty much having the best year ever. Pain-free, traveling, surfing, golfing, and he has a baby girl on the way too.
Yeah, absolutely, pretty exciting.
So you ready to make Orlando a healthier place?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So let's get started, and we're going to break this down, just kind of go over his story. This platform will allow Josh to tell his story and help others who are, dealing with opioids or who really want to get off but don't have a plan. So that's the purpose here, to, share Josh's story and help others, have a path or a guideline on how to get off of opioids. So tell us how everything started. When did the back pain start, and what led you down the path that got you on opioids?
So I've always lived an active life. I played soccer growing up, surfing, golf, unfortunately been in some car accidents. But what initially caused my back pain is I was surfing and I fell and kind of folded over backwards and didn't really feel much right then. And the next day I woke up and I was in severe pain, debilitating pain. I had seen a chiropractor, so I had seen my chiropractor, got adjusted, it made it worse. Then went through the notions of getting the x-rays, MRI, found out that I had 3 disc herniations, lordosis and arthrosis. Had insurance, so went through all the avenues they want you to do. I did just a generic physical therapy program for however many sessions they allowed. I did facet block injections. Nothing helped at all, and then unfortunately I went down the path of pain management and spent 3 years basically just masking my pain with opiates, which just increased till the point to where I was pretty much at the maximum that they're legally allowed to prescribe.
That was initially in 2015.
2015 was the initial accident. And then I had won $25,000 on a scratch off and figured it was a sign for me to get surgery. And I met with the surgeon and was pretty much to the point of scheduling it. And a family friend said he's like, just please go see Dr. Miller. Just go see him once and see what he says. And I met with you and realized that a lot of my pain was coming from just my hips being unaligned and messed up. And we started our program, and pretty much saved my life. I'm no longer on opiates, and I have zero pain.
Nice, that's awesome, man. It's such an awesome story. So, as we go back to that 3-year period, obviously you tried other treatments, nothing worked. You tried injections, chiropractic, PT. How I always tell patients, or what I tell people is, pain there's a reason why you're in pain. It's like your body's way of telling you that something's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just up for us as the medical practitioners to solve the root cause of your problem. Now, pain meds have its place in medicine, but it's never the end result. So it's kind of like, I heard this analogy once where if you have a plant that's dying, there's something wrong. You just don't spray paint it green to make it look good again. You got to kind of solve that problem. Why is that plant dying? Another analogy that I like to use with patients is the fire alarm analogy. I'm not sure if I told you about that at the time. It's like your fire alarm is like pain. It's like your body's alarm's going off. Hey, something's wrong here. If like your house and the fire alarm is going off, you don't just run off and run upstairs and turn off the fire alarm. No. You got to go through the house, find what caused the fire, what room is the fire in, how can we put the fire out, and when the fire's out, then the pain or the fire alarm will start to go off. So, I would look at it, there's a reason why you were in pain. Now, the goal of this is not just to take some medications and slap a Band-Aid on it. It's always, it's always essential to find the root cause of your pain. Now, at that time, whenever you were on opioids, what type of opioid were you on? Do you remember?
Yeah, so I was taking a muscle relaxer, an anti-inflammatory, and then I was taking every single day. I was taking 6 30 milligram Oxycontin, and 1 30 milligram time-release morphine pill.
Okay. Was it helping? Did it help your pain at that time? Did it help you get through your day?
It would help my pain to get through my day. Unfortunately, my job was very active, so I didn't have a choice other than to continue working. So the scary part of it is I could pretty much tell you the time of day based on how long since I took my last medicine, because it would work for its time and then it would stop. And just even me sleeping, the 8 hours in bed at that time without having the medicine in my blood, I would wake up and could barely walk. I would have to, pretty much crawl over to take another dose of medicine. And, that went on for years, and it just, obviously there was nothing getting fixed.
Yeah. What were some of the side effects you had of taking the opioids?
So looking back, I thought that, there were none, and I had everything under control. Of course I still kept my job and my responsibilities, but looking back, it was extremely depressed. The stomach issues, the mentalness of it. They're pretty much all the side effects you hear in the commercials, were part of it. The constipation, the moodiness. Like I said, I never realized how bad it was until I was out of that situation. Looking back and realized that I was extremely depressed from all of it.
I mean, we see that whether it's a chronic pain patient or someone who just had orthopedic stuff that's been going on for a while. Yeah, it's normal to feel depressed. You don't feel well being in pain, not to mention just the side effects of the medication. But, your pain's real, and there's a reason why you're feeling it. But being in pain for years, it is going to take a toll with depression, dependence on meds for that, and you're still questioning why. Why am I in pain? And when you're asking that question a lot, it is kind of scary. It is kind of anxious. It may bring on some anxiety, like, why am I having pain? Why can't anyone solve this? So we're also going through that with my wife's stuff. It's like, why do you have this? What caused this stuff? Of what led to an autoimmune disease and stuff. So it's scary.
One of the scariest parts was when a side effect that I wasn't aware of is until there was a time where I had ended up losing some of my medication, and I figured, oh, no big deal, and then I started going through withdrawals, and it was extremely scary. And I know we'll get to it, but eventually, I never realized how bad the withdrawals could be, until we finally got off the medicine.
Okay, so what happened? What kind of clicked? What made you want to get off opioids? Like, besides winning that lotto ticket, which is actually awesome. Yeah. And then, it's like with our mutual friend who told you to come and see me, why did you end up coming to see me versus going to get surgery? And what made you really want to get off opioids? Like, what clicked?
Two things. When he told me about how he had surgery before and it didn't help, and how you had helped him where he could hardly walk. That, and then my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but she really motivated me to be better, and got me motivate me to get out of the rut. And then after meeting you, you were so inspirational and driven, and it's contagious when you have positive people in your corner.
Good. So, what did you think about the initial eval after seeing me? Do you think that I was a crazy guy? Or
no, I was stoked. I was blown away, because I was a bit pessimistic, just because I'd already done physical therapy, and I was like, okay, whatever. But the family friend I have a lot of respect for, and I told him that I would do it, and I did. And I left seeing you that first evaluation, and I was like, this is it. This is how we're going to do this. And I was right, because we did.
So one thing that we do here is, which I hate it when you have back pain and you go to a specialist, anyone, could be a physical therapist, physician, whoever, and you walk into the clinic with low back pain and you're told you have lower back pain.
Like,
and
that's it.
Like, okay,
yeah, okay.
Well, I knew that walking in here. I didn't pay you money to tell me what I already knew. Mm-hmm. So what we really do is we really take time. Like, all of our evals are 90 minutes long, and it's one-on-one care. But we want to solve the root cause of the patient's pain at that time. And we clearly outline, okay, this is why you have back pain. These are some risk factors of why it keeps coming back, or why nothing's working. Okay? Here's a timeline of when we expect you to be symptom-free, or when we expect results. This is how much it's going to cost, and this is what is needed to do in order to get that goal. So one thing that was awesome was, because I don't believe that I treated your pain. You also had an active role in it. So I think the fact that you wanted it and you wanted to get off of opioids and you wanted to get pain-free as part of it, and then I just guided you and helped you see that path. I kind of corrected some of the orthopedic stuff, and with that, plus a structured timeline, plus we also worked with another physician to kind of see our goals and to try to wean you off of pain meds, which didn't turn out to be the best plan. But it was a multi-disciplined approach, though. Josh had an active role. He did want it. He wanted to get off, and he did the home program, and he did the work to get the actual results. I helped out with some of the structured approach, solving the root cause, which I believe his back pain was just the effect. He had very tight hips, lack of hip mobility, poor hip strength, poor mechanics that were constantly overloading his back, thus causing pain. So once we had that solved and you started seeing results over the next couple of weeks, it was like, oh wow, maybe it's actually working.
This is gonna change.
And what we did was we really structured me treating the orthopedic stuff, managing his pain meds, and we really tried to consult with someone who would titrate him down. As we made progress, he'd lower his pain meds, because if we just lowered his pain meds but his pain came right back, then we're not really doing anything. But what we really did was we treated the orthopedic stuff. He started to get back to an active lifestyle. You weren't scared of your pain, you understood why it happened. And then we also wanted to correlate that with a decrease in pain meds, so at month 3 then we could start cutting off and stuff like that. So that combination of an approach is a great way to kind of ease off of your pain meds, to decrease pain, but yet to get results also for that. So
and anyone who's been on opiates, that's I feel like that's one of your big fears is it's the fear of getting off the pain meds. And if it's done properly, I can attest that it's not easy, but it can be done. And it's my life has completely changed. And I mean, like I say, it saved my life. I can't imagine being on those meds still to this day. It makes my stomach turn.
Crazy to being on them back then and how you felt compared to now. And just imagine how strong.
Thinking that I was okay then. I feel like, oh, I'm fine. These drugs don't affect me the way the media says, but they do.
So let's talk about getting off of the opioids. Obviously, we're not going to name names. The goal was to consult with a physician who was going to work with us and plan this out.
We found a specialist who, it's what he does is not pain management, but they, for lack of a better word, getting off pain addiction. He's an addiction specialist. We chose, for me, we used Suboxone, and unfortunately, he would give me too much. I would go a month and have some left over, and then he would give me the same amount again. And so what I kind of ended up doing, I felt like I was in the same circle of just getting medicine thrown at me. So we kind of did it on our own. We did some research, and we found our way.
You were actually doing it yourself.
He
was actually weaning off his meds by himself.
I made 3 months of prescribed medicine last 5. And eventually, I was able to stop taking them. I did unfortunately go through, I think, 12 to 14 days of after I stopped taking it, of some withdrawals, and that was challenging. I just took some supplements, lots of vitamins, lots of water, and rest, and it wasn't easy, but it can be done, and and then at that point in time, working with Ron, my pain was actually gone. It wasn't there was no more pain. It was just getting that medicine out of my system.
I felt he wasn't on Team Josh.
No.
At first, he was on, but then it was like, come on, he's not having pain anymore. I was like, let's wean him off. And you kept on going back for consults and the follow-ups to make sure things were going good, because you have to properly wean off of pain meds. But then he kept giving you the same amount. So we're like, okay, let's go. We're ready to go, because you were feeling good at the time. We wanted to see if you got off of opioids, if your pain was going to be gone.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, we had, you had to do it yourself. So we did experience some withdrawals, but the end result was after he got through the withdrawal symptoms, the pain stayed away. So we fixed the orthopedic time. He weaned off of his opioids, and at the end result, what was it? Probably around 4 months, maybe.
And then I ran a 5K, my first 5K. Yeah. And then a few months later, I swam in a 3-mile open ocean swim and got second place by 4 seconds in my age group. And I was the oldest guy, and the only reason the 4 seconds I wasted was not following the rules and touching the boat. So I could have got first place.
That's awesome. So here's a question that a lot of people may have. Was my treatment hard? Was the physical therapy part of it? Was it hard?
I mean, it was demanding. It wasn't hard. It wasn't. I mean, it's if you have any kind of discipline and you do the home program. I mean, it's nothing was strenuous or hard. But I mean, it was demanding. Like anything, if you set a goal, you're gonna have to do some things to achieve the goal.
Yeah, and then we ended up getting you doing deadlifts.
Yeah,
right at one point. So that's always a hard part.
I was doing deadlifts at the end of it.
Yeah, single leg squats and doing all that stuff. But then at the end, developing some functional strength and getting back doing deadlifts, which I love that exercise for back pain patients. But eventually we got him doing deadlifts, return to run program, and you went back to running a 5K. I remember swimming. You traveled to the Bahamas the one time. You even golfed,
surfing, playing golf.
So perfect. So, what are you currently doing? How's your back pain doing? Are you on any meds? How's everything going now?
If any kind of meds I take, it's an Advil here or there. Just like anyone would take for doing a little too much. I just got back from Mexico. I spent 10 days surfing, and I surfed 6 to 8 hours a day with no pain. And very very consequential waves with lots of wipeouts and zero pain, zero medicine. So
that's good. So It will take time with this and stuff like that, but Josh continued to do his strength thing. He did his return to run program. So as he was off, no one's ever going to say you're ever 100% pain free. If he does too much, maybe he gets a little bit of backache, but he knows exactly what to do with it. But he's not relying on any pain medication to numb his pain or to cover up symptoms.
Freedom.
Freedom. Now you know exactly what to do if you have pain. I just saw you today, and his hip extension is great. We could go on the deadlift rack after this and see how much weight you can throw up. But there is an outcome. Sometimes it may take long. Sometimes it may take months, and maybe even like a year to get out of it. But Josh recovered quick. He was very motivated. He stayed the course. He got off of the opioids, and then he was able to return to all of his favorite activities and stuff like that without dealing with pain. Trying to think what else you want to go over. So what's something that you would say to someone out there who is watching this, who is on opioids but wants to get off? What would you recommend to them?
Finding the root of the problem, and working to achieve that, and just know that you can get off the opiates, because they're so gnarly and heavy, and you get to the point where it's hard to get motivated. But they're dangerous. I mean, it kills people all the time. I don't know stats off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure more people overdose on opiates even accidentally, not even recreationally. There would be times where I'd done it to myself, where I thought I couldn't remember if I took my medicine or not. So I'll just take another one. And fortunately never stopped breathing, but that happens to people all the time. And you just have to know that it's possible. Even as dark as you think it is, and it's like a black hole, but it really isn't, and you can overcome it. And I'm one to attest to that.
Yeah. One thing that I would say is definitely you need a good team.
Absolutely.
Whether it's medical team, support team, his wife was
Friends,
there to kind of push him on. Family was guiding him. He had a good medical team with myself and a physician at the time working together to try to guide him down this path to do what's right. I kind of looked at the orthopedic side of things and trying to solve why he had back pain. And then you do need some medical management with medication. So there is going to be kind of a team approach here with your support team, and Josh won it, and he was willing to do the work to get there. I helped out with some of the orthopedic side of stuff, and then we also had that medication management also with that. But I think it's really important to gather and surround yourself with a good team that's going to help you get the end results and stuff like that. And then as everyone's working together month to month to month, you'll see progress and see results as you wean down from the medication. So if anyone is watching this, if you do have questions, please put them in the comment box below. I am truly happy for you, man. Yeah. You're having like the best year ever. Plus, you have a baby on the way, Absolutely. So that's going to be awesome.
And I also do want to add, if you feel like that you don't have a team or you don't have the support, be honest with yourself and be honest with your friends and family, and I guarantee you they're going to support you. Even if you're not that close to them, the first step is admitting to it, and people might not understand, and they're going to understand, and they'll be on your team. And if not, Ron was available, and he will be on your team too. So
yeah, I was texting you, hey, what happened after this? What happened after this?
So it can be done, and don't give up, and come check out Ron and get some help.
Perfect. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone. But I'm not going to let you off that easy.
Okay.
Are you ready for the Fab 5 questions?
Yes.
Okay. So, even though you have a baby on the way, you only have like a couple weeks left. You have so much stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
What book are you reading right now?
Baby Wise.
That's an excellent book. There you go. That's a great book for you right there. Great book.
And The Expectant Father. I have a couple chapters left on that one. Or What to Expect the Expecting Father.
Yeah, that's another good one. So, what is your favorite restaurant in Orlando?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm a foodie, so I guess I would have to say a couple. Le Coq Vin.
What was that one?
Le Coq Vin.
Okay.
It's a French restaurant that's been around for a long time. Also Linda's, La Cantina.
La Cantina.
Those are two of the oldest restaurants in town.
Great steak.
And I'm a big fan of Ravenous Pig too. So
yeah, Linda's is like an old school Orlando restaurant that people who are new here don't know about. I thought it was a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, same family. Yeah, you put the cantina. Yeah,
but man, that is hands down the best pound for pound steak in Orlando.
For the money,
I love that. Best sushi place.
Kabuki.
Kabuki.
Yeah, Henry does an amazing job. Just up on a new location too. He's awesome.
So, what business or under the radar small business or CEO do you really like around Orlando that no one knows about? Business owner wise, what's a new up and coming business that has a great service or product?
I mean, it's gonna be biased and say it's you. You have such a cool program, and you've grown so much even since I've seen you, and you just make a whole new make people realize that physical therapy is not what you think it is. To have hands-on, from a doctor, it's that really wants you to succeed.
Well, thank you,
and we'll guarantee you that you will. It's pretty amazing.
I'll have to go and interview myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you doing to stay healthy?
So I've been back in the gym. Not gonna lie, I don't love running, so I swim a lot. I've been swimming 4 to 5 times a week, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,700 yards each time, and I really enjoy that because there's no impact, and it uses your whole body and core and all that. So I've really been into the swimming.
Nice. Swimming's an excellent total body exercise.
Yeah.
So what's the last question? What's one problem in healthcare that you want to see solved?
Opiates. It's hands down. It's just the big pharma just pumping the meds. Knowing how evil it is and knowing how addictive it is, and they just there's no one after them. It's very unfortunate.
Perfect. Well, that's it. That is Josh's story, how he started and what led him to go down the path of opioids, some of the struggles of what he had as he was dealing with it. And then that kind of gave you a brief outline of his recovery process of what we did to get him pain-free and now living the best life ever, traveling and best year ever, golfing, swimming, went surfing, and now he's a baby girl on the way. But again, I'm truly happy for you. I'm so happy that you're doing good. And thank you for taking the time
Absolutely.
to
and
come
if
and do
anyone
this.
wants to contact me, you can get my information through Ron, and if you have any questions or want advice, I'd be more than happy to help.
Perfect. So there is always hope. We just need to do it the right way and get a great resource around you and a good medical team to guide you down that path of getting off of opioids. If you do have any questions, you can put them in the comment box below or visit us at pursuittherapy.com. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks again for joining.
Yeah.